Okay, I'm Cynthia, and I'm the host of the reality series CPS Horror Stories. I'm not an attorney or a social worker. I'm a mom who had her kids removed for 2 years, and after fighting for the 2 years, I did get my kids back. I do this because not only is it helpful for me, but it's helpful for other parents to learn and educate themselves on CPS and how they're not there to protect the kids, but it's simply about the dollar sign above our children's heads. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Skye.
I'm Angel.
And this is our, how many interview now? Is it 2
Technically
or 3? Okay, that's what I thought. So let's give everybody a quick update, and then I kind of want to tell everybody what our conversation was that we just had. Should I start with that? Because then maybe it'll be easier for you to give the update.
Sure.
Okay. So I was sharing with Skye and Angel about my struggles right now as a mom with my older daughter. She's 10 years old, and she is fighting me on everything, and they got to witness it because I'm not going to hold things back. I want to be honest. If this is going to work, and we got to talk about our struggles, right? We have to talk about them. And my house is not perfect, and my daughter's been giving me a very hard time. There's a lot of threats when she doesn't get what she wants. There's, as you guys heard, threat of calling CPS, just blowing things out of proportion completely, and thinking that she can just backtalk me to the point of no return. It's not okay. And as parents, it's our job to discipline and to set the rules of the house. So as I was sharing my information and kind of asking from more experienced parents some advice, you guys reminded me of your story. So let's start there, and you guys can tell me why CPS was in your life.
This last time?
Yeah.
My son, he's a twin. Was 16 at the time. He got a girlfriend, decided, I don't know why, not to introduce her to us, and wanted to be with her, but didn't want to ask permission. He decided to run off to be with her. I called the police, called him as a missing person. He got mad, so he called the police, even admitted that in the police report, and made up a whole bunch of neat stuff about us, and which brought CPS into our lives for like the millionth time. But his twin brother is still in our lives and still in our household, and just wants to hurt him really badly for doing this.
What were some of the things that he said about you?
That we broke his nose. I threatened his life, that if he ever said anything about any of this, that I would make sure that he came up missing. That his father touched him inappropriately. What else?
I supposedly dry humped him.
And there was a lot of stuff. There was this, like every other time we talked to the CPS, there was new stuff, new allegations.
Now, just curious. You know how when we get really mad, we'll say like dumb figure of speeches or whatever that obviously we don't mean. Did you ever say anything like, or?
Actually, no.
Never threatened to kill him. Never.
Never want him to come up missing.
Matter of fact, before he went missing, I took him out. We bought a car for him to start driving.
He paid for it, but you went out and helped him pick it out.
I went out and helped him pick it out. And when it broke down, I paid for the part to fix it. He was driving on the freeway and it blew the radiator somehow. So I bought the radiator, thermostat, and all kinds of stuff to go into it to make it run again.
And actually, I thought we were getting along great because he got a job. He was helping out the family. He was talking to me, I thought, openly. It was actually a really good, I thought it was a really good environment. And then
all of a sudden,
something snapped.
Well, what happened is that he hit a parked car, ran, and went to his girlfriend's and decided he was going to stay there.
And just decided not to come back.
And I've got all this in text proof.
But he says because we heard from him every once in a while on the phone or a text message every like few days, he wasn't technically missing, even though we had no idea where he was in the whole state of Arizona. So,
Where about in Arizona are you guys?
Phoenix.
It's hot there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And he declared himself not a missing child because we technically heard from him every few days, but we didn't know where he was, so he was missing.
When was the last time you guys talked to him?
In July sometime?
Yeah, in July, which was when
No, June.
it was when I called the police and called him missing. The police reached out to him. He got mad. He called us and yelled at us for calling the police. And then the next day he called the police, and that's when all these allegations came into play. And then he went missing totally in July. Oh, and CPS, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but CPS called off the missing persons report with the police because they knew where he was, but we didn't.
Okay, and now he is legit missing,
Now
even
he-
from
yes.
CPS.
From everybody, he is gone ghost to everybody.
Do you think he ran away?
From CPS, yeah.
It's because we had him pulled out of his girlfriend's house. The CPS, even though he ran away and the girlfriend's family were harboring him as a runaway, which is illegal. It's illegal for him to be a runaway. It's illegal to harbor a runaway. It's called kidnapping because we didn't know where he was. CPS said it was okay for him to stay in the household. But then when we said we didn't want him at his girlfriend's house, they went and pulled him out that night, and he came missing the next day. Because he couldn't be at his girlfriend's house. So it was like a giant temper tantrum.
He thought he was going to get his way and be able to live with his girlfriend.
Who we're pretty sure is an adult. And that's why he didn't want to admit that they were fooling around.
So you think she's older than 18?
Yes.
Wow.
Because he told me one day that his girlfriend had a latex allergy and that she might have been pregnant. And then he told CPS that I made that up. That I said she had a latex allergy and that I thought she might be pregnant. It's like, but I don't even know this girl. I don't even know what she looks like. Why would I say she's got a latex allergy? So yeah, my friend, the only reason I found out that he was on the database was a friend of mine sent me a screenshot of, the strip pictures of the kids. It's like this kid is this birth date missing since this date, and this is their name. She sent me a screenshot of a strip of pictures, and he was in that strip of pictures on the national database.
Wow. But yet CPS is still making you do.
Yes, they're trying to make us do everything. And they told me if I don't go to court on the 5th, because I missed my last court date, do the work. And they told me if I don't go to my next court date, that they will put a dependency hearing on me.
Now, what's crazy to me is that they let you keep one son.
Exactly.
Are these your youngest children?
Yes, these are my last children at home. And because Gage denied everything, they went and talked to Gage while I was here working, and they showed up at my room and they talked to him. We didn't even know that they were going to show up, and that they showed up just out of the blue, and he denied everything. Denied, because there was nothing to admit to.
Right.
And they just said, okay. And then they left him with us, so.
I don't understand that, because if you're healthy enough to be one parent, to parent to one, then you're okay enough to be a parent to more.
Well, the weird thing was when they first took Chance, they asked me if I wanted him, they wanted to put him back in my custody. And at that time, I didn't, I mean, I wanted him to be safe, but I didn't want him back with me because I didn't know what kind of accusations he would make again, you know, and also I knew he'd take off again, which he did. And I don't know, even his sisters and brothers didn't want him at the time because they didn't want the drama. Because he's got a lot of older brothers and sisters. In fact, that's another thing. They've been in touch with his siblings. They called his one sibling, and we don't even know how they got her phone number because I don't give out phone numbers to nobody. They called his one sibling, her name, she's like, what, 21, 22 years old, and told her that she needs to get in touch with me to get in touch with them. And then the other sibling, who's only 20, they wanted her to foster him if and when they find him. And she's got 2 young children of her own. So we honestly think down deep inside, we're starting to even think more and more and more that they're bullshitting us and that they do know where he is. And that they're just waiting to bring him out at like a last minute kind of thing and say, hey, yeah, we do know where he is. You know, it's like, or something to that effect. You know, they not like they don't lie or anything.
Oh, I know. But how do you feel? Are you worried?
Yeah, we're concerned for his safety, where he's at.
Of course. But we still say that they somehow know where he is. Because they don't seem as freaked out as they should be. They don't seem to be, I don't think that they're looking for him like they should be. I think that they down deep inside know where he is and that they're just saying that they don't. So we don't try to contact him or try to do something. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking.
And how does your other son feel about all this, you said?
Gage wants to track him down. In fact, I gave him I gave him the girlfriend's address because they gave that to us in the police report. And we have a last sighting of him. I gave him the last 2 sightings of him. He has a friend searching for him. He wants to find him and he wants to beat the living crap out of him. And I know Gage could. Gage may be smaller than him. Gage is more petite than Chance's, but Gage has got moves. He really wants to hurt Chance for hurting the family, for hurting me, for bringing all this bullshit in our lives. When he could have just said, hey, Mom, I want to go, you know, see my girlfriend, which he's done in the past. It's like, can I go spend the day with Joanna or whatever her name is? It'd be like, okay. You know, it's like, you've done good all week. You've done great all week. You've gone to work. It's like, go ahead, go spend the day, you know. But this girl, he just didn't want to do that. He wanted to sneak off, and Gage just wants to hurt him really bad.
So let's talk about what do you feel you guys could have maybe done differently? And I'm more asking for my situation. When your child is back talking you, because I don't look at you guys as have done anything wrong. But what do you do when it's to the point where, like you said, they're in your face, they're back talking, they're arguing, they don't shut their mouth, and you can't beat the crap out of them? What do you do?
Well, when they were that young, we, about 10 years old, my daughter's one now ex-husband had a little trick to punish them. You take a penny, you put it against the wall, tell them to put their nose against the penny and hold it there until you're done.
And what if they don't listen?
Then you give them a swat on the bottom.
Or like you're doing, taking stuff away. There's one lady who she sold all her kids' toys when they weren't listening, so she put them up on like Marketplace and sold them, so we kids knew what dealing without really was. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. I liked it when my kids were younger. They were so much easier to punish. It's like, go write a letter to Santa Claus, apologize to him. But all you can do now is take, like you're doing, take shit away from them. You know, take the phones away from them. You said you're taking cats away from them?
She doesn't have a phone, or she doesn't like gaming systems. She doesn't like any of that, but she has a lot of pets. And the thing is I told her she's not doing the litter boxes every morning. So I told her you have one more chance. And the other thing is I'm not a cat person, and they keep peeing on my bed.
Wow.
And I was reading that they're trying to show territorial over me.
Right.
And I'm done. I'm like gonna kill them. But I'm gonna call the shelter, you know, and get rid of them. But she, of course, please don't do that. And I'm like, you know what? So I gave her another opportunity today, which this has been probably, I'm not exaggerating, and shame on me. Shame on me, because I did this to myself, but probably the 10th, 15th time
I understand.
you know, when you've had so much negative happen in your life, you don't want to be a person that's going to cause more negative. And
Right.
it's so hard trying to figure out where the balance is to discipline and not ruin your child. But I
Yeah,
can't keep making up for what's happened. It's done.
Right. I was just wondering, do you have somebody that can maybe take them for like an hour or two to make her realize that this might really happen, and you know?
Oh, she's already had so many talks. So many talks from people that have already said, like, I think your mom's crazy for allowing you to have so many pets. So I don't disagree with her getting rid of your stuff.
I was just thinking maybe pack them up and send them to a friend's for the day and say, see, and don't let her know that it's only for the day though. You know, it's like you can say, hey, we're packing them up. This is it. You've had your last chance. But then, I mean, bring them back in the end. But the point I'm trying to make is that, hey, this can really happen. He took away his stepchild's TV, and she accused him of doing stuff. And he was in the military at the time. So luckily the military just said, we'll take care of it. You know, his superior just said, we're not going to get CPS involved. We're just going to handle it internally. But yeah, all he did was take TV away. So they learn that at a young age.
She doesn't like anything I can take away. I pretty much have. There's nothing really that she cares about except for her pets. And I would have never shown my daughter in a blanket, but I needed to show somebody that I'm not fucking hurting my kid.
Right. She looked fine to me. She looked cute.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with her. I even.
I'm sorry, Junior. I accidentally kicked the dog.
Look at, she's crying, but I recorded because this is her screaming how I hurt her. And I'm like, Josie, if I hurt you, your eyes would be bleeding. And
yeah. And this is what CPS has done to our kids. That's why we have no control, because they tell the kids, they come to the school and they talk to them. It's like, if you feel that this is being done to you, please don't hesitate to, you know, talk to us, to talk to anybody. And it's like, kids learn. They're like, you don't like what's happening to them, so they tell a story, and then the story is believed.
so she said, I want to go somewhere where I can take all my animals and not be here. Who the hell is going to take 3 snakes, 2 turtles, 2 dogs, 2 cats, a leopard gecko, all this shit? Who's going to do that? Nobody.
No. Because that's a lot.
Foster care won't even do that.
No.
I don't know. I've been hearing, and the thing is, I've been hearing even more about foster care. I belong to a lot of groups now, and people are posting, it's like, I want to be a foster mom because I can't make my mortgage this month. That's the only reason they do it. And they aren't going to take a dog, though. They aren't going to take animals. They just want the kids. They just want the money, and that's all they want. This is Junior. This is our friend's dog. He's in love with my husband, though.
That's funny.
Because he takes him for rides.
That's cute.
But yeah, I sent a picture. I think your assistant probably gets the text messages, but I sent a snapshot of the picture of my son in the missing exploited children thing. And it's like, I was so shocked when I saw that. I was like, I've never had a kid in that. And yet CPS it's still all our fault. This is all still our doing. And it's like, they can't take any responsibility for this. This is the second kid they've lost of mine. You know that, right?
No.
I had a son back in the day who was about this age. He was in trouble. He was in trouble with the law a lot. So he got put in a group home just like Chance did. Only Jacob had an ankle monitor on. And they're like, well, we're going to take him. And I'm like, okay, go for it. You know, because with him, I didn't care. Because he ran away so much, was in so much trouble all the time. I'm like, and in so many drugs, I'm like, fine. You think you can do a better job? Go for it. I'm like, but he's going to run away. I guarantee it. Before the night's through, he'll run away. That night, 4 hours later, he ran off, cut his ankle monitor off, threw it down the sewer, and then they wanted me to pay for the ankle monitor, but yet he was missing for what, a couple months then too. But he ran off on them too. So they keep losing my kids. So they need to stop losing kids.
Wait, that.
This one though, I don't know if he's really lost. I really don't. I don't know if they're BSing or the situation, or like I said, I don't know if they have him hiding. Because it just seems weird that all of a sudden we get a call the other day from a CPS worker saying, we got a lead on where he might be. And our hearing is on, our status hearing is on Monday. And they all of a sudden have a lead on where he might be. That seemed too coincidental.
How long have you guys been married?
30 years. Be 31 in October. Our oldest daughter is actually 30 years old.
You guys have been through a lot.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly. Since CPS has been called on me since I was 3 months pregnant with my oldest child. So 30 years of dealing with this.
You're done.
I'm way done. I've been done since the judge told them twice now to leave us alone. He told them at one hearing, they've done everything they're supposed to do. You need to leave these people alone. You need to stop doing this. He lectured them for half an hour to leave us alone. And then we ended up in court in front of him again a couple years later. He finally said, what more is, this time was only 8 months we were involved with them. And he's like, what more do you expect of these people? They've jumped through your hoops. They've done everything they need to. I want their kids back with them in 30 days. Or you give me a darn good reason why. And our kids was back with us in like a few days later. So this judge, even though they say most judges are, and most lawyers are underneath CPS's thumb, I don't think this judge is. Considering he's the one that sat there and lectures them about leaving us the hell alone, even though they don't.
Wow.
Yeah, I just want this mess done and over with. But yeah, I just had to let everybody know that he's in the missing exploited children's thing, and this is CPS's doing. This is not my doing. I mean, all I did was report my child missing that any other parent would do when they don't know where their child is, you know?
Yeah.
So this has turned into more of a disaster. And I don't get why they just don't drop everything. You know, why they're continuing to let us go on. When obviously they can't do their job and keep children safe. Isn't that their job?
That is supposed to be their job.
That's why they're called the Department of Child Safety. But like you said, Phoenix is hot. We don't know where my kid is. If they legitimately don't know where he is, and if his girlfriend's not hiding him, what if he was living on the streets? What if he was on the hot streets of Phoenix, you know?
That's not good.
No.
Probably has no money.
Exactly.
Does he have a credit card or anything?
No. And he left his birth certificate and everything with me, so he can't even get a job because he has a permit. That's the only ID he has is a permit. He doesn't have his birth certificate. His social security card got stolen. We found out that his social security card was stolen just before the COVID hit, so we couldn't get him a new one because the Social Security Administration is closed down. And in order to get one through the mail, I'd have to mail in real copies of all this stuff, like my license, my driver's license, stuff like that. I'm not mailing this stuff through USPS that I don't know if I'm going to get back. So we were waiting till something opened to get him his social security card again, but I have everything else of his because he left everything behind. Now, oh, and he doesn't have any clothes. CPS finally brought us all his belongings that he left at the group home. I couldn't believe the group home kids didn't take his computer. So they brought his whole big bag full of clothes and his computer to us. So we don't know if he's been wearing the same one outfit for 3 months or what. Yeah. And we're still trying to, I started his computer because I want to try to hack into it because he, see what the hell's going on with him. Because it's password protected.
I don't even have words. I can't imagine.
Exactly. And I don't know, just being in these groups just makes me realize that and being with you, you know, listening to your stuff and everybody's stuff on your group and then all these other groups, I feel a lot better because not that I want this to happen to anybody else, do not get me wrong. It just makes me feel better knowing that I'm not the only one.
I get it. Yeah, because you can feel like you're going crazy.
Yeah, because everybody looks at me and goes, why would they do that to you? Why would they take your kids for no reason? It's like,
yeah,
that doesn't make any
no
sense.
reason.
Exactly.
You had to have done something.
I read these stories about these people who even lose custody of their kids for no reason. Their kids got taken away and then they got adopted out for no reason. And it's like, I'm like, I'm sorry. I can sympathize. I really can. And it just makes me feel better knowing that, because everybody else who's never dealt with this just looks at me and goes, you're making this crap up. You gotta be. Or you gotta be doing something wrong. You had to have done something to have your kids taken away. It's like, no, I didn't have to do anything. It's like, don't make me feel that way, because I already feel bad enough. These people talk so much shit about me and make me feel like the only thing I've ever wanted to do in life was be a mom, and that's all they're telling me that I couldn't do. And it's like, I know I'm not a bad mom. I've always tried to make my kids feel good about themselves. I've always tried to make them not feel bad about themselves and make them feel like they're worth something and that they're beautiful no matter who they are. So I'm not a bad mom.
No, you're not.
So, yeah, I'm just glad that you've come into existence and that all these other things have come into existence.
I want to give you a hug.
And I do feel bad not knowing, I feel absolutely horrible not knowing where my own kid is. I feel like people ask me, like, how do you not know where your own kid is? It's like,
well, you didn't misplace him.
Exactly.
That's the stupidest question ever. But it's the same person asking, well, why would CPS take away your kids for no reason?
Yeah.
They don't understand the system and how it works.
And just the fact that CPS workers are even wearing shirts. I don't know if you heard about this, but there were CPS workers actually standing outside a DCS office wearing shirts that said, what they say?
Legal kidnappers.
Legal kidnappers.
It's true.
They had pink shirts on with white lettering. Most of them got fired, obviously.
Wait. Who was it wearing those shirts?
The DCS workers themselves were wearing shirts that said legal kidnappers.
Where?
It happened back east someplace, and there was such an uproar that they got fired for posing with these shirts.
Yeah, it was the East Coast. I don't remember what state, but it was the East Coast.
It's true. They are.
And I'm sorry for what and I hate to say it, but she's 10 years old, and it's going to get worse.
Don't say that.
It's either going to go one direction. It's one of two directions. Either she's going to snap out of it and go the total one direction where she'll be like, Mom, I'm so sorry, or it'll go the extreme other direction. There's not going to be really any in between. You know what I mean?
How do I spank her? She's bigger. She's my size.
Wow. And she's still got growing.
She's gonna be tall. Her dad is 6'2". Their dad is 6'2". So what do I do? And I got tubes, and she's already pulled one of them out. A long time ago, not recently.
Really? Yeah, that's a tough one, because today's society, it's like the kids are taught these things, and I'm afraid that it's going to get worse, and that she's just going to be like, Mom, you can't tell me what to do. I'm, when she's 15, it's like, ma'am, I'm 15. You legit can't tell me what to do, and stuff like that. It's like, otherwise I'm just going to go next door, call CPS, and say, this is what's going on, And
but I don't want to put up with the threats and stuff anymore. Like,
mm-hmm.
I don't want to be without my kid, but if you think you're going to be better off, I don't want to live like this either.
No, I get it. I truly do. It's hard.
I could make a suggestion. You may not like it. I was going to say you can call her bluff. I've called my kids bluff before, handed them a telephone, said call.
They didn't up until, well, the only reason they did this last time was because he was at his girlfriend. I think his girlfriend was pushing him. But yeah, we did. We actually handed them the phone and said, here.
And they didn't call?
No. Because they thought we would just keep, give in to them, and say, okay, we don't want you to call. We'll do this and this and this for you, It's like, we'll give in. Did you ever watch South Park? There's an episode of South Park. The whole episode revolves around, you don't like what's going on, you call the authorities and do the M word.
Hold on one second.
Well, like I was saying, next time she threatens to call CPS or anything like that,
That's right.
Phone and say, go for it. You think you'll be better off? Go ahead.
They won't take your animals. You have to leave your animals behind,
Skye, what were you going to say about that episode?
Oh, it's called the M word. You don't like what's going on, you call the authorities, you use the M word, molestation. So everybody in the whole town of South Park calls, it's like, oh, my parents took away my TV, or I don't like my mom's boyfriend, hey, he touched me. So they all went, the whole town, every adult in the town went to jail, and they're like, we didn't do anything to my kids, we didn't do anything to our kids. They're like, but towards the end of the episode, they come back, they convinced them that they did do something to their kids, and they come back and they're like, oh, Eric, I love you so much, I didn't mean to do what I did to you, I will never do that again. It's like, well, they didn't do anything, but the whole town, there's nothing but kids in the town, because obviously everybody called on their parents because they didn't like what their parents, the punishment that parents enlisted on them. So they lived like, what was that show? What we were talking about, Mad Max. They lived in like Mad Max times, because obviously there were kids running the whole town. And then they were like, yes, we lived in the before time. And it's like, oh, what about your parents? You mean the birth givers? It's like, this is like 3 days later. They're talking about the birth givers and that. And they have no electricity. And Eric Cartman's like the mayor of the whole town, and there's only one cell phone in the whole town. And these people come and they get lost in the town, and they're like, oh, I can't wait to have kids. But by the time the episode's over with, they're like, I'm getting my tubes tied the second we leave. But yeah, it was like, just like what they're teaching kids nowadays here. It's like, you don't like what's going on, you call the authorities. You don't like, you say whatever you have to. But that whole show just,
So what do you do about the eye rolling?
Oh, that one's hard. You just want to go over and smack her. I know. And it's like, I just walk away. Some of it you just have to ignore, because some of it, it's a reactionary thing. They want a reaction. And it's like, if she's eye rolling, I know it's hard to ignore, but try to ignore it. Don't react, because she wants a reaction. She wants you to get upset. She wants you to. So on the other hand too, just to let you know, my daughter had to call CPS on her ex-boyfriend, was the biological father of one of her 2 kids, but he raised the oldest boy as his own. And they couldn't find him, so they were going to drop the case. They finally found him, talked to him, he lied to them, and after only about a month in the case, they're dropping it all. No one's getting arrested, no one's getting accused of anything, no one's getting nothing. Even though the boy had
marks.
One of the boys had marks on them. They got out of the house. They're 2 and 3 years old. They got out of the house. We're walking down a busy freeway to the park from his apartment. He has a weapon in the household where the kids could get it. They're just dropping the case free and clear, saying we're not going to do anything. But yet they've been harassing the shit out of me for 30 years. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, very. So
And
you
they
guys,
even went and talked to him.
what?
They even went and talked to him, and all they had to say about him was he was an idiot. But they're dropping everything. So obviously they don't have that much of a concern.
So you guys have court Monday.
Another, what's it called?
Status hearing.
Status hearing. And so I'm gonna have to miss more work because they don't care if I lose my job. They just care if I make it to court, or I'm gonna be even more shit.
Well, will you let me know how it goes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Definitely can. I'm not looking forward to it. I haven't even talked to my lawyer because I just don't want to. I've been avoiding their phone calls, but every time they call, I'm on a phone call with work. So it's like, dudes, do you expect me to literally drop everything?
And let me know when your son is found.
Well, thank you.
I'll be praying.
Appreciate that. And if I can come up with any other ideas,
Please.
I will reach out to you.
Please. Ask my assistant for my number.
There's Messenger?
Yeah, through Messenger. She'll give you my phone number.
Awesome. I will. Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
I'll talk to other people I know and maybe get some advice from them too. Get some different input.
Okay.
Sound good? Well, thank you for all this. I really appreciate you. And you've just, like I said, you and all these other people I found out there have just made me feel like I'm not so crazy.
You're not crazy. You're not crazy. And you're a good mom.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It's like all my kids have grown up to be pretty good parents. I've got 5 grandbabies and I adore them all, and they're being raised by some pretty good moms.
That's awesome.
Only had 2 out of 10 go nuts.
Go rogue.
Well, the one was drugs, so he got into drugs at a young age, local drug dealer. So I don't know how much that, that was drug induced. So you know how that goes.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on again.
I appreciate you. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or anything else you want to ask, or anything? I don't think there's anything else we need to ask, but
No.
Good.
I'm good.
if you, I sent the picture. If they don't find my kid, you want me to send that picture again about the missing exploited children thing with my son on it?
Yes.
Okay. I do want him found.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, he's my kid. I don't want him out there. I feel bad that I don't know where he is. Every day I think about where he could be. And even my daughter's got feelers out there looking for him, That's why I said we last saw him at last stated at 35th and Campbell at a Walgreens. But, who knows where he is now? He could have been at Walgreens buying a bottle of water or something,
I'm
Who
gonna
knows where he is now? But
let me
I
know.
really appreciate you. You better go deal with your
I'm
daughter
gonna.
and what's going.
Thank
You have
you.
a great day, and
Thank
I will
you.
let you know any other advice I come up with, okay?
Sounds good. Bye, guys.
Bye, darling.
Bye.